If you want to know anything about this Honda GB350, I'm doing a 10-part series on the bike, and any questions you've got, just put them into the comment. We'll go right through it. If it's more popular than that, we'll extend the series to 20 clips. So at this stage, I've got it marked down for 10 and everything. So if you want to know anything about riding it around town, out on the road, on dirt roads, anything you want to know, just hit the comments there. I'll answer your questions. I'll give you a good, honest answer. And that way you'll know whether or not this is the bike for you. Okay, guys, it's the moment of truth. I've just walked out of the dealership. Walked over to me, give me a bit of a handshake, and I just replied to him, I'll catch you on the next bike. So that's a little bit of incentive for him next time I come into the shop. So I walk over to this Honda, and visually from a distance, like it's gone from that purpley colour, it's late in the afternoon now, to a virtually a darker black out in the open. So I walk over to the bike, get onto it, turn it on, and the speedo dances its way around to 160 and then settles back down. So I'll press the starter button first off, and I must admit, it's not really what you class as an inspiring sound when you press the button for the first time, because, I've heard bikes sound a lot better in the actual mechanical side of kicking over to it, but, that's how it goes in that line. But suddenly the exhaust comes into play and it barks in and really tosses out, not a bad note for a 350 single. So, it's got a fairly, deep sort of loud sound to it, so there's no problems there that way. And that was right. I jump onto the seat of the bike now, and we're there, and it's 800mm seat height, 181 kilos in weight. Feels a little bit shorter or smaller than the classic 350 Reborn. So I select gear 1, and the wife's give me a bit of a wave, and later on she actually told me the bike sounded pretty good going up the road too. So, okay, I'm on mobile now, so I'm heading up there, and I'm in the first, I go through the first 3 gears, and I say, gee, WTF, I'm thinking to myself as I'm riding along, where's the bloody power in this bike? And taking into account there's no rev counter, so I can't tell what revs I'm doing. All I know that with new bikes, I never give them a hard time. So, I actually thought I was just riding a little CB125 trail. That's what it felt like at that stage, because, like I said, I wasn't giving it much hit on the throttle as I was going along. And I was just thinking to myself 2 things. Should I actually have bought that Triumph instead and went ahead with that deal? Or, is this a bike where it's totally different to ride compared to the classic 350 Reborn, where it would have took off and pulled really low on it? So this is the difference between a classic 350 Reborn, which is a good torque bike for low speed and pulls in all gears, where it's, by the time I went for the first 3 gears in this one, I was thinking to myself, where is the power? So I thought to myself, when I bought this bike, I had plans, and I'll give it 10 clips out there and just see how it sort of goes after the 10 clips I put together on it, and I'll be able to see how things go there. Now, like I said, when I got back on it, two problems I was struck apart from. I found it a little bit gutless to take off in that one. See, now looking back, I don't know, I might have only been going to 3,000 or 4,000 in the rev range, and I think they can go up to a close on 9, and therefore, you've got to ride them a little bit harder compared to the chuggers what I'm used to riding. But I had 2 problems I recalled right on the spot, and one was I'd forgot to insure the bike. Now that's a fairly important thing if you want to get here, be a bit careless or stupid for me to get out here and ride this out on the road and take it out and just see what it was like and how it performed with no insurance on the bike, and something went wrong and I've totally lost the $1,500 it cost me. So as far as that goes, that was a joke. So So as far as things go, the other problem was the fuel light was flashing. So but the dealer did give me $10 to buy a bit of petrol. So I thought I'd bugger it, $10 won't cut it with me because I've got no other cars or anything like that. Got no money on me apart from the 10. I think I'll head off home, get the insurance on the bike, and then we'll swing off out the road with full tank of gas so I can fill her up from the start. Also see what it does to a tank on this 15 litre thing. So you know, as far as the riding goes, like I said, it was down on gears. You know, when I was taken up there a little bit down, the gear shift itself was sort of positive and smooth in that line. I couldn't, you know, I can only ride at 50 kilometres around town till I got home because I was a bit concerned about running out of petrol just in case. I'm always nervous on a bike when you pick it up and they say, oh, I don't know how much petrol's in it, but it's $10. You know, like, it's a scary thought. So the ride on itself is, I found the seat a little bit on the hard side. I did see that the mirrors when I was riding along, they were reasonably clear through it, so that was all right too. Didn't actually feel any vibration in the foot peg, seat or bars, so that was a plus there too. Like all things, when you swing to a Honda compared to other bikes, the first thing you come to a corner, throw your indicators on, turn out you hit the horn, and then people, if there's anyone around, I'd look up and see what's going on, and you know, I too made that mistake of hitting the horn. Found the brakes a little bit on the spongy side, but no different than if I was riding Enfield or anything else or any of the other new bikes. So I'm just telling you as I see it, and we'll see how things progress as things go by, because you know, my thoughts are you can't get out there and take much notice. These test riders can go out and tell you, you know, ride a bike once, because a lot of them just make up the shit to get views, so you come back and, you know, you're nothing negative. But I've got to tell it as I see it, and the best way I can say about telling others to see it, because later on I'll be putting it up against a Classic 350 Reborn, run them back to back in all different situations and see. And this is the best way to find out compared to somebody telling you crap. So when I buy a bike, if you're interested how I work on the buying thing, say for example I come along and pay $8 for this. When any time I buy a bike, I always look at, well, say if it's no good and I have to cash it, what will I get? So this one here, I worked it out. 8, I should be able to get somewhere between 5 and 6, so it'd only be a 2k drop if I buy it and it doesn't live up to expectations, and we'll see what happens. So if I make 10 clips and it turns out to be 11 and I have to cash it for $6, well, it's only cost me $200 a clip, and I've probably had a bit of fun. But I'm not jumping to conclusions on any of these bikes, just like the other one. If I thought it was a total heap of crap, I would say to you now, I'll pass on this one, or I'd pull the other clip down and we would forget about going any further. But the reports on these bikes are pretty good, and that's why you can't jump to conclusions. So at this stage, I think get on board, come back, have a look at the reviews where I take it out. In all honesty, I don't really care how it runs around town. Like that's beside the point. I don't like riding around town. I reckon it's a dangerous place. This will be the criteria I'll be looking for that, or this particular bike. It's got to do. It's got to be able to get out on the road and cruise along at 100 kilometres an hour or 60 mile an hour with no issues. It's also got to be capable of pulling decent hills around here with much faster than what the Classic 350 Reborn will do. So that's important there too. And number 3 would be, it's got to be, and this is the most important one, it's got to like dirt roads, because I will be taking it on dirt roads, and it's got to be something that will run along that at, I don't know, I'll try it out when the time comes in the next clip or two at 50, 60 kilometres an hour. If I can cruise along the dirt roads at 60 kilometres an hour, I'd be happy with that. If I can only get along there even in a stop fall of, you know, 20 or 30, that's not much good to me, because I could do that on a CT125 trail or quicker. So these are the things that sort of have me a little bit concerned how it goes on that line. So if it meets those ones there, like at 100 kilometres an hour, I can go out and take it on good long runs and then hit the dirt little places and go like that. I do like the fact that it's got tubeless tyres. The weight doesn't seem a problem at 180 kilos, because the Enfield's 195. It's got a stupid heel toe shifter, which I'll show you later on, but I'm going to check things on that one, see if I can improve on that one, because I don't know, you'd have to have a size 14 hoof to get your foot on it. Like I said, brakes a little bit on the spongy side, but you know, I've seen Enfields take 1,000 kilometres to come good on that one. But what I do after I've done a couple hundred kilometres, I usually start applying, or 100, a few hard braking stops, and after that they seem to bed in all right. What else with the exhaust system? But really, you know, got not a bad beat to it, so you wouldn't be disappointed on the exhaust. So I think overall, you know, 10 runs out, 10 clips, see how it goes together in that line there, and I think we'll get a good idea if this Japanese version of Indian Hiness is a good bike, and whether you should buy one or not. Just going on things around town, if you said to me at the moment, which one would be the better bike to ride around town, I think the Enfield would be the better one around town, because especially if you're a bit lazy and you don't like changing gears, you could lug along around third gear, and the times I've run around town, the Enfield in fifth gear, if there's a slight grade in the road where you can go along. But I think if you put this bike in fifth gear around town at 50 kilometres an hour, you wouldn't go anywhere except to stop. But as a rule, as far as I know, the 5-speed box on one of these, gear 5 is really an overdrive, so it's got the power in first, second, third, fourth. It's got the power in fourth too. Once you slip into fifth, you know, you just cruise on that one. I did notice when I was riding around town, the economy light was coming on, so that indicates I wasn't using much throttle. So you know, that would be it. It's got this green light, it flicks on, and I thought it was the indicators coming on, and or some hazard light or something like that. It turned out to be the economy gauge. So that's about all I can tell you on the first one. So like I said, never jump to conclusions on the bike, because Honda are known as pretty good bikes, and the thing is, if I would add a rev count, I would have been able to tell what revs I was going at. But I was a bit shocked when I first took off and it didn't have that get up and go sort of compared to an Enfield. And the reason why I was shocked, I might as well tell you this now, the reason why I was shocked, because I've seen a couple of blokes test the bikes, and I don't know what was going on, but 200 kilometres an hour, this Honda is 4 seconds faster than the classic 350. So 4 seconds to 60 mile an hour, 100 k's is pretty quick, you know, like a fair bit faster. But I don't know, maybe I just probably wasn't moving the throttle much. But you know, if there would have been a rev counter there, you'd have a rough idea what it is. But you know, that was the only thing. I might have been tossed off too because of the petrol light flashing, and real I had no insurance too. So I think as things go by, we'll see. Like I said, give it 10 clips, see how it goes, try it under all situations, get out and give it a workout. We'll soon see if this Honda's any good. And the best thing about it, you just don't have to worry about it. You only have to come back and watch and let me worry about spending the money. So we'll catch up with you later.